Today, I'm gonna swap out the speakers of my Harley Benton 2x12. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name's Taylor and I do all sorts of guitar related stuff here on YouTube. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking out the stock vintage 30s that come in a Harley Benton 2x12 and we're going to be replacing those with the vintage 30s that come in the Mesa oversized cabinets. Before we get started, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure and hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And if you like this video, hit the like button, leave me a comment down below. I'm always reading your guys' comments and I actually really enjoy all the suggestions and all the feedback that you guys give. It's just been really cool to be able to talk to you guys and get feedback on stuff. So go ahead and drop a comment below, say hi, let me know if you have any questions or if there's something that you'd like to see on this channel. I always read those things. Seriously. So a while back, I bought a Harley Benton vertical 2x12 cabinet. The description on the website says that it comes loaded with vintage 30s, so I did a shootout between that cabinet and my Mesa cabinet, which also has vintage 30s, and they sounded pretty different. Let's switch over to the Harley Benton and see what that sounds like. But a lot of that difference could be the fact that one's a 2x12 and one's a 4x12. So in this video what I wanted to do is I wanted to compare both speakers inside the actual Harley Benton vertical 2x12 and see what the real differences are. I'm gonna be reamping a DI, so there's gonna be no variation in performance, and I'm gonna use the same exact settings, same exact amp configuration and everything, so we should really be able to distinctly hear the differences between the two. The rumor on the forums is that these cabinets are so cheap, and yes, they come with Celestion vintage 30s, but they're Chinese manufactured Celestion vintage 30s, and that's why these cabinets are so affordable. Well, we're gonna find out today, because I'm gonna take this thing apart. So what I'm doing here this morning is I am reamping some tracks with my Harley Benton that has the stock vintage 30s in it right now. I'm doing everything I can to make this as scientific as possible so there's the least amount of variables. I'm actually reamping some tracks for a song that I did for the Bridge City Sessions channel. Let me get my other camera and I can show you this, but I taped off the microphone placement on the grill cloth on the Harley Benton so that I'll be able to get the mic placement exactly the same as it is right now. I'm miking it up with an SM58 if you want to know, and yeah. And the signal chain is I'm running the DI into my Ampero, and that's using the VH4 model. All right, let's see how it sounds. Alright, time to open this bad boy up and see what's really inside of it. So I've read on forums and various YouTube videos and even received comments about this, that these cabinets have Chinese vintage 30s in them and that they're not the same quality as the normal vintage 30s that are in Mesas or the ones that you can buy individually. So now it's time to just open this thing up and see what's really inside of it. By the way, the front screen just pulls right off. It's got like Velcro on the inside of it and it just Velcros to this, so that's super convenient for changing speakers out. It's almost like they knew that you might want to do that. Whoa. Made in China. So these are in fact Chinese-made vintage 30s, but do they sound any different than the vintage 30s in the Mesa cabinet? That's what we're gonna find out next. Okay, so this one's gonna be a little bit trickier because I'm actually gonna have to open up the entire back of the cabinet. So let's open it up. Alright, now that all the screws are out, the challenge is just getting the actual back plate off the cabinet. It's moving. As you can see, these are definitely different vintage 30s that are in this cabinet. They are made in England. They're actually soldered on here, but they are actually soldered to the speaker. So what that means for me is I'm actually gonna have to get my soldering iron out and desolder these, and yeah, fun stuff. It's just a lot of extra work. All right, so I'm done tracking this thing, and this is pretty interesting. The 8-ohm UK-made vintage 30s are a lot warmer and smoother sounding, and the Chinese-made 16-ohm vintage 30s are a lot more harsh in the high end, but they're much brighter. This cabinet sounds really great with both speakers inside of it, but I'm just playing this back, and I wanted to show you something. Here's the Harley Benton stock. You can hear there's a lot of like crunchiness in the high end. It breaks up kind of like nasty in the high end, which if you like that, cool. Here's the 8-ohm vintage 30s. Here's both of them together. Like I said before, the main reason that I wanted to swap these speakers out is because there's some breakup in the high mids that were really bothering me. I couldn't pinpoint it exactly, but now that I have both of these and it's a reamped DI, meaning it's the same exact signal just ran through two different cabinets, I'm going to invert the phase on one of these tracks so you can hear the difference between both speakers. See what I'm talking about? That's that breakup in the mid-highs that I was talking about that I couldn't stand. I just thought it was interesting, and I feel like all this hard work is a little bit validated now that I can actually sit under the scope and analyze it and see exactly what was going on. So, yeah. All right, just want to share that real quick. So how do you guys feel about the difference between these two speakers? Do you like the Chinese-made vintage 30s, or do you think that it's worth upgrading to the UK-made vintage 30s? Let me know in the comments below. There's one important thing that I want to point out when you're changing speakers in your cabinets like this. The speakers that I pulled out of the Harley Benton were 16-ohm speakers wired in parallel, which makes the cabinet 8 ohms. The speakers that I put into the Harley Benton cabinet were 8-ohm speakers wired in parallel, which made the cabinet 4 ohms. Now, if I had wired those speakers in series instead of parallel, it would be a 16-ohm cabinet. If you don't know anything about ohms and impedance, don't worry. I don't either. It's just something you should know and educate yourself about if you want to do something like this, because there is a difference in running cabinets with different ohms, and you need to make sure that if you're using a tube amp, that you're matching the impedance on your cabinet with your head. So let me give you a little bit of context here as well. I actually ordered a second Harley Benton 2x12, and the whole idea here is that I'm trying to consolidate the back line so my band doesn't have to carry around 4x12, so we can just carry around the small cabinets, so that way if we're playing a smaller stage or whatever, our back line isn't like taking up the whole stage. Any of you who have been watching my channel for a while know that I'm totally trying to economize and minimize my band's rigs and our gear. That's what this whole thing is about, and what my hopes and my intentions are with this is I want to take the vintage 30s out of one of my Mesa cabinets and put those 4 speakers into each of the 2x12s so that both the 2x12s we have UK made vintage 30s from the Mesa, because those are my favorite cabinets, those are my favorite speakers. Now, I don't want to give you the wrong impression. The Harley Benton cabinets sound really good as is. They're an incredible value, they're super affordable, and I highly recommend if you are looking for a 2x12 that you pick up a Harley Benton cabinet. I think I paid something like $250 for mine, shipped from Germany. If you can find a better deal on a 2x12 cabinet, let me know in the comments below. I looked all over the place and this was the best deal I could find, and they sound really good for what they are. I mean, this is coming from a guy who's accustomed to using oversized Mesa cabinets, so take from that what you will. Also here, on a side note, something pretty cool came in the mail. I gotta show you guys this. The case sort of stinks. It smells like cigarettes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, check that guy out. This thing just showed up this morning, so I got it on an eBay bid, and I'm really excited to set this thing up and start using it, mostly for live use, but especially in the videos, it'll be really cool. I've never owned a guitar that's this metal before, so no, that's not true. I've only had one other guitar in my life that's this metal, and I can't even remember the name of it or what it was, but it was a similar body shape. It was like neon red, if I remember correctly. If I can find what that is, I'll post that in the video right here. But yeah, this guitar is just so metal. And I saw it, I saw it on an auction on eBay. It was a good deal, so decided why not pick it up, check it out, see if I can get down with the ultra metal guitars. Alright guys, that's it for me. I hope you have an awesome week. As always, if you like this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Later.